Welcome to the Logic in Life Coaching Podcast, episode 21.
Everyone wants happiness and success, and we know how to get you there. Come listen to the Leadership Society of Arizona as we teach a proven logic to help you simplify life, overcome challenges, and predict the future. You're listening to the Logic and Life Coaching Podcast. Welcome to the Logic and Life Coaching Podcast. My name is Chuck Zalanis, and I'm joined by Dr. Jacob Kashiwagi. Woo!
Thank you, my fan, Chuck.
Everyone's excited
to be here.
The stage is in roar. Yeah. Anyway, so are you ready for this week's question?
I am ready. I've been prepping myself.
Okay. Well, I think it's a good one. I think you'll like it.
Okay.
So let's go for it. So the question is, when do you recommend giving up or quitting on something? An idea, a dream, a goal, a product, or whatever. And this is something that you've worked on for a really long time. And if you decide to move on, how do you recommend dealing with giving up that something on an emotional level?
Wow, that is a great question. One that I think confuses a lot of people. So to get into this question, how do you make the decision to give up? When should you give up? And how do you to get yourself to say it's okay? Now, the first thing is we need to talk about quitting and giving up. Why are we afraid of quitting or giving up? Why do so many people not want their children to quit or give up, or they don't want to quit or give up on something?
They feel like they're losing.
That's one of the biggest reasons is lost opportunity. Or they feel like they're a failure. Or they feel like it tells them that they're less capable, right, if they give up. But if you look at all of these reasons why people don't like quitting or giving up, or they look down on other people for quitting or giving up, all of it deals with fear. They fear something in the future. They fear it tells something about them. They fear it tells something about their child. My child's always giving up. It means my child is a failure. They're fearing that they're not going to do anything with their life in the future. And I always tell people, I never make a decision based off of fear. Right? Because when you fear, do you see accurately, or are you looking at something that's inaccurate?
Can you explain this one a little deeper? Because I can say no to this question, like, oh, you're not viewing life accurately and we can move on. But I think you need to describe it a little more, because I think that fear is generally an inaccurate view of reality, but I just want a little more clarification.
Yes. Water bottle.
Okay.
See, we go to a simple thing where you have a lot of information, where you understand if I release this, it's going to go which way?
It's going to go down.
Down. You know this. Do you fear what's going to happen when?
If the bottle's open.
No, you don't fear it. You know exactly what's going to happen, and you know the bottle's not open. Okay? Now, here's the thing. If I open the bottle and I was going to release it, you might fear, because you're thinking what?
Your computer's going to die.
Yes. But you don't even know if I release it, if it's going to fall on my computer. It's something you don't know.
Okay.
When you don't know what's going to happen, that's when you fear. If you're going on the roller coaster that has all these crazy loops and whatnot, do you fear more the first time you go on it or the 100th time you've gone on it?
Probably the first time.
Yeah. After you do the first time and you see, oh, it's great. I know exactly how it's going to feel. You're not going to fear as much. And the more you do it, the more information, understanding you get, the more accurately you understand what's going to happen. You don't fear anymore. So in life, whenever you fear something, it's always because you don't know. And is it ever good to make a decision based on what you don't know?
Probably not.
No, it causes a lot of risk in your life. And so that's why I tell people never make a decision based off of fear. Because it means you don't have enough information, so you shouldn't make the decision. You need to do what?
Find more information.
Get more information. Get more understanding of reality and what's going on. And then you can move forward without fear. Then you can make a decision on what you want to do.
Well, I can think of that in terms of like most people don't have 100% of the information. So like when I would get information from my mother-in-law saying, oh, everyone's going to buy up all the food. You need to have food storage. You need to figure that out. You got to get prepared. And then, well, we're thinking, okay, well, it looks like there's still food in Walmart, but I mean, we'll get it anyways. But how, like, you still get those feelings that are welling up. You're like, I'm still a little scared, like, from what they said.
Yes. So here's the thing, is as you go along in life and people are telling you things that's causing you to fear, I tell you, if you're worrying about it, you don't have enough information. That's why everything people are saying is causing you to worry. So you got to go do stuff to get more information on it. Like you go research, right? You see, is the country shutting down? Is the food supply shutting down? Or are people still producing food? When you start figuring out that manufacturers are still producing lots of food, the food supply is all good, you're going to worry less about it. When you start realizing, oh yeah, there's plenty of gas and transportation, whatnot, you're not going to worry about you being able to access the food still, right? And this is the same with quitting. When you quit, or when you want to quit, you can't base quitting or not quitting off of fear of the future. You have to base it on a reason that you can understand. You don't like it. You aren't good at it. Maybe you're not able to continue it. Maybe you don't have enough funding or capital to keep your education going or to be able to get the training you want, whatever it might be. This is why I tell people, usually when you feel like you want to quit something and you're not quitting based off of fear, then you need to go figure things out more. And oftentimes I just tell people, if you want to quit something and there's a reason for it, quit. There's no issue in quitting. I actually think quitting is a good thing. Now, a lot of people disagree with me on this. I see a little concern on your face, Chuck.
Well, I have had circumstances where I have quit something, and you weren't so for it.
Okay, now look. When you want to quit something, there's a reason you want to quit it, right? And although it might be good for you not to quit it, if you really want to quit it in the end, I always tell people to quit it. And here's the reason. A lot of people say, well, if you let people quit, then like my child will only learn how to quit things and they'll never be able to be successful and they'll never learn. They won't learn how the stick-to-itiveness, right, of things. And I tell them that's not necessarily true. Because you have to look at it this way. Why do we do anything in life, Chuck?
To be happy.
happy to learn, to develop, to improve ourselves. And if this is a case, then you can never truly give up or quit. You can never give up. You can never quit. You can only do what?
Change.
Reallocate your effort to different actions. Right? You can only say, instead of playing the violin, I'm going to study math. Or instead of studying math, I'm going to focus my efforts on drawing pictures. Right? When you quit something, you're not really quitting in development. You're only reallocating your effort to doing something else. No matter what you do in life, everything you do is going to help you do what?
Probably learn.
Learn and improve. So here, let's go over this. If a child wants to reallocate their effort, they want to quit the violin, piano, whatever it might be, and they want to do something else.
Like play video games.
Like play video games. Right? And that's kind of an extreme thing, but we'll go with it.
Okay.
What would you rather they do? Would you rather they stick in doing this other thing, like playing the piano, that they don't really want to do? They're not going to put their effort into it. They're not happy about it, and they're going to fight you every step of the way on it. Or would you rather them do this other thing that they will be enthusiastic about? They will want to grow in it. They will be gung-ho about learning more and trying to find ways to improve themselves. Which would you rather have? Them not wanting to do it and fighting you and not giving it their full effort, or something they can put their full effort into?
I would prefer them putting their full effort into something.
They'll learn more from it. So why do we want to prevent children from quitting things that they're not interested in? By forcing them to stay, it will only hamper their growth, because they just will learn and grow slower and slower. Now, someone say, for example, if I would have let my child quit at playing the piano, then they never would have gotten so good at it. I say, just wait 20 years. Even in my own family, all of us children were forced to play the piano. But the older children, they didn't like playing it nearly as much as the younger children. So I'm in the middle, right?
Right.
Yes, my older siblings, they were really, really good at the piano. They became very, very good. But guess what happened? Because they were forced to, because they didn't like it. 10 years down the line, they stopped playing. The children who wanted to play, they still play. The children who were forced to play and not quit, they no longer use the talent at all. Right? And this is what I tell parents and people who are so worried about themselves quitting or their children quitting. You might get someone to stick into something that they don't want to do. But in the end, right, in the end goal, it will ruin your relationship with them. It could be something they like to do. It will cause them not to like it anymore. And in the future, it will actually stunt their growth because they're not putting their effort into it. And in the future, they might not even like it. And as soon as they get their freedom, they're going to not do it. Right?
But like, what about those parents that their kid doesn't want to do anything?
Oh, now here's the thing. You know, there's a lot of parents that say, well, my child doesn't want to do anything. That's ridiculous. All children want to do something. I have never worked one-on-one with a child that told me, I don't want to do anything in life. Never, ever. Every child has an interest. Some of those interests, they might be told are a waste of time though. And it stunts their growth because it's something they really enjoy, right? It's something that they could really put their effort into. And a lot of people will be saying, well, yeah, they'll be interested in video games and skateboarding or, all these things that they can't make a living off of. That's not true. Even children really into video games, they actually like more than just video games. They could like computers in general, programming, hardware of, technology. They could like other things along with video games. It could be socializing. It could be talking with people. It could be a number of different things that go along with what they're doing. And if you let them progress in it, if you worked with them at what they enjoy and help them with it, I think they would have 10 times the growth than in any other area. And so my whole thing here is children, especially when they're young, as they grow up, you want to find what they want to do and you want to support them in it. And letting them quit at things, quitting just means they haven't found what they really like to do yet. There's a million things someone can be successful in life at. I always say it could be yo-yoing, it could be like delivering mail, right? There's delivery services. There's it could be like making arts and crafts. It could be a million different things. So if a child keeps quitting, it just means they haven't found something that they really enjoy and love. And here's the thing. When do you want someone to figure out what they love? When they're 40 years old or when they're 10 years old? Yeah, you want when they're young. And a lot of people say, well, 10 years old, they don't even know what they love. That's why we have to force them to do and not quit. No, if you can get them to do something, and if they don't like it, they know. They know what they're good at. They know what they enjoy. Because what they enjoy, they're going to be good at. What they enjoy is going to come naturally to them, right? So why are we so set against people not quitting? I don't know. I call it reallocating your effort. It's great when people can reallocate their effort to doing something that they really enjoy, really love.
As far as a job situation, I know we covered in a previous podcast, you said quitting a job is more about knowing that you have another option first. First, you need the other option, and then you should quit.
Okay.
But don't quit until you have another option.
Okay, look. So the key in determining if you should quit or not, the key is not the specific effort that you're doing or your child is doing. The key is that you're doing something to move forward in life. So I have some hints for you. If you have to make the decision to give up or not, what you should do. Or if you're trying to make the decision on if your child should quit or not, and you really don't want them to quit, here are some things that you can do to help you make this decision. Okay? Are you ready for them?
Sure, let's do it.
1, talk to a mentor. If you talk to a mentor, they can tell you if it's a good idea to quit or not, because they probably can see farther than you. They probably understand what's in it for you.
But you're saying that parents generally are the mentors, and the mentors are going to force them to stay.
Here's the thing is, if you're a mentor, you can't force anyone to take your advice. You're mentoring them, so they get to choose if they're going to take your advice or not. So if you're making the decision, I'm telling you, you should be open to listening to a mentor because they'll help you to understand the pros and cons of quitting.
Got it.
If you're a parent, you want to mentor your child, but in the end, you have to let your child make their decision. Does this make sense?
Right. So it's not forcibly stay in whatever area that they are.
You got it. Second hint. Ask this question to yourself. What else will you do? If you have a good answer to what else will you do, if you're saying, okay, I don't like playing basketball, I want to quit it. Well, if you don't play basketball, what else are you going to be doing? If you have a really good answer to that, you say, hey, I'm going to learn to play the piano, or I'm going to get a job at some place and I have an offer right now, or I know I'm going to be able to learn to paint or something like that. If you have something that you can shift your time to and you know what you're going to do after you quit, you're good. But if you say, I'm not going to play basketball anymore, I don't know what I'm going to do, probably just sit on my couch and do nothing, that might not be the best answer for you at the time. I can't judge, right? But if you don't have a very good answer, in your opinion, you can be honest with yourself because it's just you, then don't quit. And wait till you find something better to do and then quit. Does this make sense?
Mm-hmm.
This is why when you're trying to find a job and whatnot, I say, look, if you're in a job and you don't like it, don't quit yet. Find another job you can go to first. But in the end, it's your decision, right? Did that? Now, if you're a parent, this is something you can ask your child if they want to quit. It's like you don't want to play chess anymore, and what else are you going to do? Right? And if they say, hey, I want to try this out, and they got a good answer for you, hey, then that's good. They're thinking ahead. They're looking for something else. But just remember, as a parent, as a child, they don't know what they like. They want to go and play basketball. Then they don't make the basketball team. Then they're doing nothing. But that's okay. Find something else that they can do, that they want to do, that they enjoy. Now, the third hint is start doing something else. Start doing something else while you're doing what you're doing that you feel you like more. So if you're like spending a lot of time on trying to start up a business and it's not going anywhere, well then while you're trying to start up this business, start trying to do something else that you enjoy. Maybe like go get go start like going to yoga or something. Do something else that you like even more than starting up the business. And as you do both of them at the same time, you'll start to realize, oh, actually, I want to start up my business. Or it's not really that good, and you're going to spend all your time doing yoga. And you'll naturally reallocate your effort and quit whatever you're doing. Does that make sense?
So you'll naturally quit the one that you don't like.
You got it. Then you don't even have to make a decision. All three of these things. Oh, there's also a fourth one I forgot to mention. This is look at reality. There could be that instance where you want to start up a business, that's your goal, that's your dream, but you're just not good at it and it's never going to happen. You don't have the money for it, you're bankrupt, you're going to get kicked out of your house, you're like, all this stuff is happening, right? But you still don't want to let go of it and you're emotionally attached to it. Sometimes as you just look at the reality of it, do you need to get a job? Do you need to get another job so you can start making money? Can you survive off of trying to pursue this dream still? Are there options for pursuing this dream still? Are there things that you can be doing, right? When you look at the reality, oftentimes you'll realize I have no choice. I need to quit or I need to do something else, right?
Hey, but there's situations where Rocky Balboa he went and he made the film. So Sylvester Stallone made the film, produced it, wrote it, the Rocky film, and nobody wanted to direct it for him. Nobody wanted to put in the funds for it, and so he had to sell everything. He pitched everybody on this, and then he even had to sell his cat, which he loved. And then at the last moment, someone picked up Rocky. He was the star in the show. It boosted his career. He was able to buy his cat back, and then life went great for him. So a lot of people may say he was not looking at reality, but maybe he was.
Well, here's the thing is, he had the ability to sell all this stuff, right? He kept funding his effort all the way to the last moment. If you have nothing to sell, if you didn't have all this stuff to sell, then you had to quit earlier, right? Because that's reality for you. But if you have the option of selling everything you have and you can keep pursuing your dream up until a later point, well, then that's an option. That is your reality, right? So I'm not saying don't risk it all for your dream. I'm saying if you've risked it all and you have nothing left and there's no other options for you, yeah, then that's reality. You have to quit. You got to find another job. You got to go do something else.
Yeah, and also in Sylvester Stallone's case, it's apparent that he loves that. It's apparent that he was willing to give everything for it. So, anyway, yeah.
And here's the thing, and you know, everyone's situation is different. You know, you could be a struggling artist, have no money, have no nothing, but you have friends who will let you stay at their house and live off of you for nothing. I mean, that's an option still, right? That's viable. You can keep pursuing this dream if you want it.
Right.
Usually if you do these four things, usually it will steer you right in if you should quit or if you can make the decision not to quit, whatever it might be. Now here's the thing. In the end, whatever you feel like you need to do, it's always the right thing. But just hopefully I put another spin on quitting for you to help you realize that it's not always a bad thing to quit. No.
Understood.
We should look at it as reallocating our effort to a different part of life.
Got it. Okay. Well, I appreciate the time. Thank you so much for answering my question, and I think it makes sense why you shouldn't force anyone to stay in something that they don't really like or appreciate. Because in the long run, it may
force yourself to stay in something that you don't really love.
Right. Yeah, because maybe in the end it's not worth it. But in terms of job and supporting your family, of course, it's more important to make sure you got an income and you can do those things.
Well, you want to make the logical choice, which is if you want to quit something, I'm all for you quitting, but make sure you have another option, right? Make sure you're moving forward to something else. Make sure there's something else you're going to use your time with.
Makes sense. Definitely. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Jacob. I appreciate your time. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Chuck.
Thank you for listening to the Logic and Life Coaching Podcast. It would be great if you could take a moment to write us a review. For any questions, comments, or topics that you would like to have addressed on the show, email the team at leadaz.org. To learn more about the Leadership Society of Arizona, visit us at leadaz.org.